Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, this is MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be doing my predictions for the conference semi-finals. We've got, that's a big game. Stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean and you are watching MLS Ireland Does Predictions. Thank you very much for joining me, and if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to try, I did think of trying to get to 250 before the season ended, but I don't think I'll get there. But anyway, again, if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Try get me close, but I doubt it. But anyway, I didn't do too bad in my last predictions there. I think Seattle getting beaten penalties last night was a bit of a surprise, even though the Real Salt Lake didn't even have a shot on bleeding target and won on penalties. So it's how the cookie crumbles. I think I predicted that game to go to penalties anyway, but unfortunately that's how it goes. There is going to be 4 games on in the East Conference Semi-Finals. Then it goes to the Conference Finals. Then it goes to the MLS Cup. They're trying to make it interesting. It has been interesting so far. I think Nashville actually beaten Orlando quite convincingly. I think I predicted that, but I don't think it's going to be that comfortable. Other than that, Real Salt Lake beating Seattle, and it wasn't too bad. New York City was actually quite comfortable against Atlanta. Atlanta was quite shocking, to be fair. Portland Timbers beating Minnesota was a good one. I was quite pleased how Minnesota tried to come back into the game. The other games were Sporting Kansas City, which was a very good game, against Vancouver. That was a really good game, and again, teams that played very well. Now there's Portland Timbers played very well. Real Salt Lake played very okay and got scraped through. Sporting Kansas City played very well against Vancouver. Philadelphia played rather well. Nashville beaten Orlando, and New York City beaten Atlanta. So the Philadelphia game was good too, but I think I expected them to play a bit better. But anyway, hey ho. So 4 games, I might as well crack on. I don't want to keep you here all day watching this drivel from me. Colorado Rapids against Portland Timbers. Now, the last time these two played was about a month ago. Colorado Rapids won 2-0. Saying that, there is a website that I use, Soccer Stats, and you can basically check it out. It's not a plug, or I'm not getting paid for it, but they did have a couple of good wee stats where I try to get most of my information from. I know it's not, but anyway, I know it's not great to be getting all this information. When I try, at the end of the day, I just go 2-0. But Colorado Rapids against Portland Timbers, it is going to be a good game. Colorado Rapids came second in the whole thing. First in their own Western Conference was quite pretty impressive. When you think about it, Seattle were doing very well, kind of staying on top, and then just pipped, and then probably faked them up probably near the end. Well, they faked each other up really at the same time. But Colorado against Portland Timbers. The Portland Timbers game was a good and interesting game, beating Minnesota. But coming into this one, I think Colorado Rapids at home, they're doing rather well, and I do like the chances in this one. And because Colorado Rapids already beat them 2-0 already this season, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to Colorado. Just on the fact is they are at home. They are at home, and they're doing rather well, and they basically did win the Western Conference for a reason, because they are a very good team on a shoestring budget. So try that. Atlanta, Toronto, I don't know. The next one is Sporting KC against Real Salt Lake. Now, 2 teams. Sporting Kansas City do look like a team who can score, whereas Real Salt Lake probably looked like a team that, well, they were a team that couldn't, only in penalties. But Sporting Kansas City looked rather well. Them at home looked rather well, because the same, if you follow me on Twitter, MLS Watch, I did kind of say that them playing at home in a full stadium in the playoffs is actually quite an interesting, and looks pretty cool, to be fair. And it looked sweet that night. And they're coming up against a Real Salt Lake team who won in penalties, and I don't think they're going to get any further in this. Sporting Kansas City are just a far too good of a team to get beaten by Real Salt Lake. I know Real Salt Lake kind of got in by the skin of their teeth. I know Real Salt Lake already beat Sporting Kansas City in Kansas already at the last game of the season. But I can't see Sporting Kansas City losing this. I do think they're capable of scoring. I'll go for like a 2-0 win. I'll go for a 2-0 win to Sporting Kansas City, just for the fact is they looked pretty good on their last game, where Sporting Kansas City didn't really do as much. So I'll go for that. The next one is actually going to be an interesting one, where Philadelphia against Nashville. Nashville basically finished above Philadelphia, which was pretty impressive. The last time the two of them played, let's see what that was. Quite a long time ago, I would suggest. The 4th of July, Nashville won 1-0. The times before that, was there any before that? About a month ago. Yeah, a month ago. On the 23rd, Philadelphia beat Nashville in Philadelphia, so not too bad. And the Nashville beat them and won in Nashville 1-0. They didn't really play each other too many times this season, so hey ho. It's going to be a good one. It is going to be a tricky one. Philadelphia at home are pretty good. Away from home, they're shambolic. There's a funny wee outcome surprise meter in this one. Philadelphia have an average of 2 points, and Nashville have a 1.2 points away from home. So the surprise outcome was 37%, so 38 nearly. So it is going to be a tricky one. I think Nashville probably getting this far. They did look comfortable against Orlando, but I think Philadelphia at home could probably surprise a few. Although, it is a tricky one. I can probably go for a 1-0 win to Philadelphia, just for the fact is they are at home. There's Nashville are capable of winning this game. This one's going to be a trickier one, so probably don't hold me to account in this one, because I'm not overly confident in this one. But yeah, I'll go for like a 1-0 win on that one, sorry. And then the last one is New England Revolution against New York City FC, all the way next week. For whatever reason why that game's on next week, I don't know. But anyway, New England coming on fresh as a daisy for having basically 2 weeks off against the New York City team who played on Sunday. So this is going to be an interesting one. New England, they are going to be the favourites coming into this now that Seattle are basically put out of it. The last time they played New York City FC was a 2-1 win on September the 11th in New England. That was probably going to be a comfortable one. Then 2 weeks prior to that, they got beaten by New York City in New York 2-0. So I think it was the second. That was one. No, they haven't really lost that many, New England. When's the last time? When's another time that they played? I think they did play each other 3 times. Yep. New England beat them 3-2 in New York City in the 19th of July. So I'm going to try see if I can go off their last result. Oh, where is it again? Yep, September 11, 2-1. Come on, clickety click. So New York City got off to a lead, and then kind of an 11-minute Rodriguez, and then Boateng on the 21st, then they scored Buchanan in the second. So a surprise meter is 26, which is not too surprising. New England's probably the better team in this one. New York City are away from home. They looked very comfortable against Atlanta, but Atlanta made them look brilliant, to be fair. Their first goal was a fluke, basically just bounced over the goalkeeper, where the goalkeeper and Bello probably should have done better. And then in the second goal, Guzan did a very good save, and they kind of dropped to a player, and then they basically scored. So they did kind of get a lot of fortune in that one. I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to New England. They are the better team. They are the favourites to win this for a reason, and I'm going to stick with my 2-1. So, yep, that are my predictions, and nearly 10 minutes in. So, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do one next week for the finals. It's probably going to be a shorter version, but anyway, hope to see you then, and toodaloo. Bye now.